Hey guys, so today we're going to improve the way that we draw together. Now I'm going to show you easy ways to change up your skills and tips on how you can go from this to this by simply learning the basics to drawing. Perfect for any beginner. But before that, be sure to subscribe for more videos from me every Wednesday and Saturday and hit that bell so YouTube can give you a cute little notification whenever I upload. Lastly, let me know down below, whenever you draw, what's that one thing you always gravitate to draw? For me, they're eyes. Alright, so let's start with the basics. So one of the first principles in drawing is actually shadows. So shadows help in creating an illusion for a more realistic drawing. So there are different types of ways to shade. The very first one is simply called shading. Now this one involves you creating soft strokes to your image, which will help you better define shapes and images, while of course giving a realistic look to your drawings. Now the second way to shade is called cross-hatching. So this is when you create a first layer of parallel lines in any direction, and then a second layer of lines are drawn on top in a perpendicular manner. So this will help create a darker area faster when shading, and it also helps create an illusion of a shadow. And then the final step is to just blend it all together. Now smudging is actually one of my personal favorites. It means that you're working less to create shadows, so who doesn't like that? So as long as you put down any type of graphite and smear it with your fingers, it will cover a large area and help give it a little bit more of a blurred, realistic shadowed look. Perspective and drawing are super important. It's pretty much like lines, which are the foundation of any drawing. So this involves things like overlapping, size, distances, contour, coloring, which are all important to just help better guide the artist in creating depth and of course affect the way that we perceive images. And now for the supplies, which are my personal favorite parts. So you're gonna need a sketchbook. I personally like some hot tea as well. It kind of just keeps my creativity going, and it's just nice and cozy, honestly. An eraser, some pencils, colored pencils if you choose, shading pencils, a sharpener, marker, and some shading tools. So when it comes to pencils, I like to use an HB pencil, a 2B pencil, a 6B pencil, and some mechanical pencils for extra details. My go-to and my favorite thing to draw are always eyes. So after all these tips, you're gonna be an expert, trust me. So this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to try to draw an eye shape without any type of guideline, right? Because this will just lead to a fish-shaped eye rather than a curved eye, which is more realistic. Also, the pupil does not touch the waterline, and the iris needs dimensions and depths, and same with the details within the eyeball. So this is what you should do. So you begin by drawing a circle, which will help just, give a guideline for the eye shape. I tend to use really soft strokes, which don't commit me to anything. It's always a trick in drawing, just go light, go a little nice light strokes. Now within the circle, you start to sketch out the shape of the eye. So within that eye, you draw a circle for the pupil, but make sure that the pupil does not extend to the bottom eyelid. Our pupils are actually not fully exposed, so this gives more depth and looks more realistic. So you can start by adding details like adding a light reflection, which is the square I've drawn here to the left of the pupil, and then just start coloring in the circle of the iris just like this and start adding shadows. Make sure it all blends seamlessly with your little blending tool, and ta-da, you have a beautiful eye. And now of course for the lashes. Okay, this is a trickster, but trust me, you're gonna get it. So basics for the lashes: don't draw lines going the same direction or of the same length, okay? Or giving too much space in between hairs. I think this is like a very common mistake. But also when intersecting the eyelash hairs, they should not be going straight up, right? So instead, try drawing the shapes at an angle. Do you see how differently it looks? Also, just try intersecting hairs and clumping them so you can get a little variety in the angles of it all. Now you can also try drawing an eyelid curve and adding U-scallop shapes under the eyelid just like this as a guideline of where you can add hairs going at the angle of the curve just like this. So it definitely gives a little bit more of a 3D effect, and just make sure to shade in the sparse areas with your shading tool so it all blends nicely together. Alright, so now for drawing eyebrows. So don't draw an eyebrow shape and color it in with lines expecting it to look on fleek like this. So no, it'll take a little bit more technique, and here are the tips to do so. So just practice your hair strokes, a few going upward, a few going towards the side, and then a few going downward. That's kind of like the key. So here are the to-dos. So use an eye shape as a guideline. So just start above the eye, somewhere around the inner corner, move up where the iris ends, and then move down again. Now you have to start drawing lines upward and near the inner corner, and as you get closer to the middle of the eyebrow, above the pupil, you can start drawing lines off towards the side. And then once you get to the end of the eyebrow, you start drawing lines going down. So it's a little bit of a variety of hair movements. So drawing the hair one by one makes a huge difference, and just make sure to blend. Just like in makeup, blending is also key in drawing. drawing hair. Now I have to say this has been one of the most challenging for me to learn, but with these simple tips you can get it too. So I would say don't start with drawing a bunch of straight lines for straight hair. This kind of looks messy and not really realistic. So instead try drawing out of the shape of the hair. So start slowly filling in the lines for straight hair. Your shading and blending are also very, very important in this. Now for curly hair, don't try to draw a bunch of squiggly or just like spiraled curly pieces of hair. It just doesn't look realistic as well. So for real curly hair, we're going to try drawing 2 parallel lines as a guideline. Now within these lines, you're going to draw the type of spirals that look kind of like a ribbon. And again, slowly start filling it in with different types of lines. You can use different types of pencils for this. I'm going to show you right here. And just go in the direction of all of the spirals, while of course making sure that you are shading and blending, because this makes a world of a difference. And then go back and erase the 2 parallel lines, and there you go. You got yourself some very realistic curly locks. Alright, so now for drawing noses. Start by not drawing 2 straight lines and nostrils. There's, very little detail in this, and then it just kind of looks fake. So do start by drawing a little circle for the ball of the nose, then draw 2 curved lines on each side of the bridge. This is going to be like your guideline for the nose shape. Now shape around the nose bridge and the tip. Draw the nostrils, shade the nostrils, and then just start shaping that nose and blending away. Pretty much any type of shading can add more to the image, and just play around with the dimension of it. Again, remember that everything is about perspective, shading, and just blending, and all of these combined together can make a world of a difference. Now, lips may seem really easy to draw freehand, which you can, but as you've noticed, for best results, guidelines are a must and super necessary. So do draw 2 equally shaped little circles next to each other, and at the very top of those, draw another equally sized 3rd circle. Now, these cute little circles will be the guideline for the shape of the lips. We're going to use the little intersections for creative curves in the middle and form the lips. You're going to do this over and over again to get the hang of it, of course, and don't forget to blend. You can play around with shading, you can play around with the blending, and then in all, you will get some beautiful pouty lips. Mwah. Now, one of the best ways to learn, in my opinion, is to practice, okay? So just try to find really cute doodles or little images that inspire you, and just try your best to recreate them, okay? I feel like a lot of the times when we're just beginning something new, there's a lot of resistance, but trust me, just flow with it. Art is all about having fun, enjoying yourself, and of course, learning those new skills. I know that some people think drawing is a gift, and sure, there are some people out there who are a bit more talented, but honestly, it's a skill that anyone can acquire, and just like anything else, if you practice enough, you'll be an expert. So number 1, practice, and of course, don't give up. I really hope that these tips have helped you. They've really helped me. I cannot wait to see what you guys create. Please share your art with me on Instagram or on Twitter. I would literally love to see it and show it some love. I obsessed over seeing your calligraphy recreations. Oh my gosh, you guys blew me away with your talent. Like seriously, thank you guys so much for all of the beauty and just for sharing it and tagging me. Definitely check out that video to learn the basics to calligraphy and how to write more beautifully. Just click this little eye right here on the right corner to watch this video right now. Leave me a comment below where in this beautiful world you are watching me, and of course, thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Join the family by subscribing down below. Hit that bell to be notified. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to live weird or die normal.